suplex.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition, live coming to you from the WWDBTV studios in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada, or as today, as I will call it, Gotham City, baby. Today's Batman Day. Dig it, love it, celebrate it. You bet it. You bet you're going to have a good time. John, don't start with me just yet. Don't even start back there. To my far right, the man who keeps Neonopolis smoking and downtown neighborhood rocking, Mr. Matt Mullen. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you doing, Aaron?
I'm doing very well, thank you. The man in my middle, yeah, simply known as Truth. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, everybody.
What?
I'm profiling the new shirt.
There you go. We're profiling and styling around here. Thank you for watching, whether you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube. Either one is fine. Thoughts Count Anywhere page on both of those, or the WWDBTV page as well. Of course, if you're driving around town, like right now, it's 1 p.m. on the East Coast. Wherever you may be, you can download the WWDBTV Studios app, WWDBTV app to your phone, or for your iPhone product, WWDBTV LV for your iPhones. Call us, 702-992-3207, 702-992-3207. We got a lot to talk about today. A lot's gone on in the world of professional wrestling. We want to hear from you in the chat room. We want to hear anything you want to talk about. That's why this show is called Thoughts Count Anywhere.
What's up, historian? Good morning, sir.
Guys, how we doing? How's your week been since we were last here last week? Last week it was Labor Day, or am I off 2 weeks? I think I'm off 2 weeks.
You're off 2 weeks.
Jeez, it's the congestion meds. The Sudafed is getting to me. How was your week since we last met?
My week was good. It was just a lot of work, semi-uneventful, luckily, and trying to catch up on sleep at some point.
Well, there you go. A little bit. All right, Chiefy.
It was good,
Got a good week?
except for when the weather changes.
Yeah.
That bothers me.
Does it?
But other than that, it was a great week.
Good.
Great week.
Glad to hear it, because one thing I like to hear is my friends having good weeks and nothing tremendous happens to anybody out there. Ronald, good morning.
And
of
just
course,
so
historian.
everybody knows,
Yes.
to you, my friend,
Yes.
please have a great Jewish holiday.
Thank you. Rosh Hashanah, for those celebrating, started last night. That's the Jewish New Year. We are celebrating 5,784 as our New Year calendar. It's a lot of days.
Yes.
Were you around then?
Probably.
Okay, there you go.
If that was when Moby Dick was a minnow, I was around. Yes.
I was in high school.
Oh,
He made the calendar.
he made the little stones in the sand, right?
An
abacus.
Abacus.
But
That's
that came from Asia. Wasn't that China or Japan created the abacus?
Oh man.
Those is upgrades from a sand and stone.
Yeah.
Hey, with that, you know what time it is? It's time for some stories with
Story time with Matt.
And now here is your storytelling host, Matt Mullen, the Mr. Rogers of the Fremont Street neighborhood. Take it away, Matt. What's happening in the neighborhood?
Today, I have a story for this week. There was a guy crossing the street on Ogden and Las Vegas Boulevard. It was a Wednesday afternoon. Whoops. But he was crossing the street, and I was like watching him on the camera, and the guy just like crumbles to the ground and was laying in the middle of the road.
Crossing the Strip or 4th Street or
Las Vegas Boulevard.
Okay.
And he was like right by the median, and he just crumbled over. And I saw him on camera, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna run over there, make sure he's okay.
Yep.
I get over there, and he wasn't breathing. I was like, what the hell? Well, I called 911. And I was like, hey, this guy just passed out in the middle of the road and he's not breathing. So I was doing like chest compressions and waiting until like medical got there, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. And
wow,
they put a sheet over him. They didn't even stop traffic. They just waited for like the coroner to come and picked him up and took him. I guess he just had like a massive heart attack.
Wow.
In the middle of Las Vegas Boulevard.
Wow. Oh, sorry to hear that.
That's crazy.
I thought I had a bad week.
Really. So you administered CPR. Are you certified in CPR?
Yeah.
Are you required for that to be a guard or so? Is that just, oh, you are? Okay.
We're not like required,
But it's
but
good to have in your
do
position.
like American Red Cross and
Yeah.
training with Metro and all that stuff. We have
Right
to go through like a bunch of stuff.
Well, that's good. Well, it's good. It's a good skill to have. I mean, once you're taught how to do it, whether you're certified or not, you really never forget how to do it. Like I was
Yeah.
certified like 35 years ago when I was in high school, but you still remember. And some of the
Oh,
things
yeah.
do change. Now they used to require when you did that. I don't know if they still do. They had the plastic something you would cover the
Yeah.
person's mouth. Do you have that? Is that what you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. So
So that's
that's
for the little ones.
oh yeah, that's the you. God forbid we should ever have to do that. Anyway.
True
All
that.
right. Well, I'm sorry with the ending of that story because God, you just never know what happens when it's your time, as they say.
True.
It's your time.
I
So
was just kind of tripped out. They didn't like stop traffic or nothing. They just like put a cover over him and they're
was
like,
he literally in
let's
the
wait
lane,
for
or
him.
was he on the shoulder? Or
He was in like the little median that's like
Oh, the
between traffic.
gotcha. Wow. Yeesh. Anyway, how long did it take for the ambulance to show up? Or I'm just curious about response time.
The ambulance, Las Vegas Fire Rescue showed up in like a minute
Okay.
because their like main headquarters is like a block and a half away.
That's good. That makes
So
sense.
luckily, if there's like an emergency,
They're
they
right
haul
there.
ass over there. And
And then you said the coroner showed up at some point.
the coroner showed up like 45 minutes later.
See,
something
here's
like
where my
that.
brain is right now. Is I'm stuck on Sudafed and congestion med. It would have been funny as shit if the Undertaker got out of the vehicle to pick him up, wouldn't it? That's where my brain is right now. And you know, all right. And sorry, I listen. Blame the Sudafed. I'm sorry. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to what are we doing? A touchdown, Penn State. Thank you, Chief. There, Chief, historian, Chief. Can we start the show again? Anyway, let's get to I Hear Voicers.
Lay off the medicines until we're done.
I didn't take one today. That's probably the problem.
That could be.
Rumor is after the merger, there are rumors that WWE will revamp the roster as well as introduce a trios division and possibly weight classes. Is there really significance to that, to weight classes and stuff? I mean, that's like back to 205 Live and all that sort of stuff. I mean, is there benefit to that stuff?
No, I think that's just a bad rumor. I hope they don't do like heavyweight championship, middleweight championship, bantamweight, like UFC stuff. They can.
And I think that's where the rumors are starting from.
Yeah.
The only thing I can remember back in the day
Mm-hmm.
was we had a heavyweight champion and we had the intercontinental champion, and most of the intercontinental champion was 230 and below, and then the heavyweight was 230 and above.
Oh.
Back in Vince's dad's
Mhm,
day.
mhm.
Now
Back in my day.
that could be a possibility. That
Yeah.
could be a possibility. But who knows?
You know, I just think right now with the titles that we have right now, and I don't want to see the trios thing. I really don't.
That would be a copy of AEW.
Well, sure, exactly. But I
Let's
just,
face it.
to me, you have a tag team. Now you're going to expand to trios. I don't want to see the world of champions be muddied with something that is where does a trio championship lead to?
But you know what? Hold it. John's got his hand up.
Oh, John. Yes.
How about a championship for with and without makeup, or with and without mask,
It's-
or with and without tattoos?
Yeah, I mean, you can make championships up for anything, of course, but where does a trios championship get the team? It's not like you can bump up to tag team and you lose somebody, you know? So I'm just curious.
You know, I could only think of 5 tag teams in WWE right now.
Mhm.
The Usos,
Right,
They're not even a tag team.
in which they are KO and Sammy,
right.
and his big hulking partner,
Alpha Academy.
Alpha Academy.
Mhm.
Bobby Lashley's group now,
Street Profits.
Street
Mhm.
Profits, and
New Day,
New Day.
Viking Raiders.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
where do you build trios from?
You don't.
Right.
You build more tag teams,
Right.
in my opinion.
Yeah. If you're going to create a trios division, then just expand the tag team division somehow.
Bring the tag teams that are in NXT, bring them up to the main roster.
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
develop some more.
Nicholas Burnett says pretty deadly, but that's down in NXT, correct?
They're on
Deadly.
SmackDown.
That's what I said. They're on SmackDown. That's how much I follow these guys. I don't even know who's in Pretty Deadly. I don't even know.
I don't remember their names.
Is
but I
that the
know
two
they are.
But that's the
Australian
point,
guys?
right?
The
Huh?
two Australian guys?
Yeah,
The guy who's got his busted arm or a fake busted arm that's in the wheelchair.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the point. You don't even know who they are to make them even relevant.
Instead of Pretty Deadly, they should be called Pretty Boys.
Thomas Burnett says Judgment Day and the Brawling Brutes are the only real trios, along with Lashley and the Prophets.
Hey, good morning, Andy. How you doing, buddy? Top of the morning.
Yes,
to
good
you.
morning, Andy. And he's right; those are the only trio groups. But I still don't want to see trios. I don't want to see it. I think, and there was even a thought here. Somebody says that at some point the Street Profits may break up and not even be a tag team anymore, whether they're with Lashley or not when they do that. But they will stay as a tag team for a while now, given that they've officially turned heel.
Well, didn't we talk last week and we said if Carmelo was to come up to the main roster, he would fit in with
Yep.
Lashley
Mhm.
and the
That
Street
was something we
Profits.
threw out there. Yeah.
So that could be.
Who knows?
You know,
I don't. Bottom line is I think we're in agreement. We don't want to see trios.
I don't.
No, because then you'd
No.
have to hear a Tony Khan press conference. See, WWE copies my amazing ideas.
Rumors, even though Jade Cargill returned to AEW recently, and I think her episode last night aired or tonight, her contract is up and she will be going to WWE in the very near future. That is the rumor mill. That might be another avenue that may introduce another women's title equivalent to the title she kind of had with AEW, because it wasn't the women's champion. It was the TNT TV something or other kind of
Yeah.
thing. Do we want to see Jade Cargill? What will she bring to WWE roster? And will that push another women's title out there? Because they don't have the equivalent of an intercontinental title as that secondary title on the ladies' side.
True.
They barely have the tag team titles. So what do you guys think about Jade Cargill coming over?
I'd like to see Jade Cargill come over. I don't think she's even going to go to NXT. I think she's going to go straight to the main roster. But I could see them coming out with like a secondary women's title, but they haven't pushed the women like they used to the point where there was like always like 3 or 4 women's matches on TV all the time. Now there's just like one.
Right.
So I think if they like boost the women's division again for a while to get everybody like reinterested in everybody, then maybe. But I can see Jade Cargill getting like a main event women's push right off the bat.
Who would you like to see her wrestle?
EST. I think Belair and her physically, I think both of them can match up pretty well.
Rhea Ripley.
One thing I want to say about Cargill, I mean, somebody posted up there on social media the last couple of days, and may even have been in our chat group with Scott, where somebody said, if you want to have a botched move match, have Cargill wrestle Jax.
Yep.
Okay. So Cargill, and I watched her a few times in AEW, and I got to be honest, physically, she's terrific. She's a specimen. She's built. She's in shape, no question. She really didn't impress me on the mic, and her movement in the ring. Granted, she was undefeated until she lost her title. To me, I don't know. I think she would benefit going down to NXT for a while. Let Sean work with her or whatever behind the scenes on a couple of these skills, and then bring her up in the right moment.
I think if she's coming to WWE next week or the week after, that quickly, I think she needs to go down to NXT, and I think she needs to work with Becky and let her
That's a good one.
Let her win the NXT belt. Put that on her. Then she can progress up to the main roster. Because right now, I watched Cargill and Stratlander last night. There were a couple botch moves in there, okay? And I don't think, and this is just my opinion, I don't think she's ready for people like Charlotte Flair and Rhea,
Asuka,
and Asuka.
Becky.
I
agree.
I just don't think she is. I think she needs some more grooming. Okay.
I retract my last statement.
No,
NXT.
don't.
No, it makes sense now. This is really thinking about it.
I look at it this way, and don't get me wrong. You fellas know I love women wrestling, and I do. But you look at Dr. Baker, you look at Stratlander, you look at Ruby, Tony Storm, Soraya. They're not on, and this is just my opinion, they're not on the caliber of a Charlotte Flair or a Rhea Ripley or a EST. They're just, it's like 1 and 1A.
Well, I was going to say, who is on the level of those ladies you mentioned? And it's hard. They are the benchmark. The names you threw out there, and Brandy. Good morning, Brandy. Brandy questioned.
Hi, sister. How you doing today?
Even though Becky's NXT champion, is that going to cause a problem? Not with if Cargill goes to NXT. With Becky having the belt, does Becky defend the NXT belt on Raw or SmackDown on the main roster as well as being an NXT? Because I don't see Becky being quote unquote exiled to NXT just because she's champion. Do you?
No.
Has Dom defended the North American belt on
the main roster?
On the main
No,
roster?
I don't think so.
So I would say
No, actually, he did once when he first got
it, right? There was like a rematch or whatever.
So I would say to Becky defending the belt at the main roster, no, it'll be defended down at NXT.
Well, a couple of thoughts on that. Andy shares let a younger talent grow off of Becky instead of Cargill, but Cargill's a young talent. I mean, she's only been wrestling a couple of years. I mean, I don't know what her background is prior to going to AEW roster.
I think she had any background.
Yeah, I don't think she came right from like a sports background, right?
Yeah.
That's why she was with Shaq initially. Shaq got involved to help put her over and all of that. And so how many matches did she wrestle? At one point, like I said, I think she was like 50-0. And maybe she finished at 56-1 or something. I don't know, something along those lines.
Yeah.
But who knows? I still think it would be good for her in NXT to get a little of the WWE philosophies, so to speak.
She's got to be like almost retrained.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the WWE.
The WWE way.
Jade is 31 years old.
Okay.
Her reign of 508 days is the longest for any AEW champion.
Okay.
So,
all right. She's got a decent resume, but I think in NXT she'll have time to get seasoned to the WWE way of things without the pressure being on the main rosters starting right out. All right, real quickly before we go to break, rumor is major cuts are coming to the main rosters as well as NXT. Of course, we saw about 100 people were relieved of their duties, mostly on the corporate side,
administrative
side, with a couple of notable names. Number one was, of course, Mrs. Warrior. Dana, she was relieved of her duties of the Special Project of the Warrior Award. Yes. Who else? Elias's name, not officially part of any cuts, but his contract had run out, right? Is that what I saw? Or was he released as part of anything?
I know he was released as anything. They're just like, oh, his contract was up. We didn't even realize.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So it's kind of one of those things under the table. So administratively, a couple of major people from the board and some executive vice presidents decided to leave or were let go. Many of the employees were told to leave and work from home. But that's always the kiss of death when you're told to leave and work from home.
Yeah, they told everybody to work remotely, and they would be an email once everybody had the conversation.
Exactly. And their stuff would probably be delivered in a Glad garbage bag. Anyway, with that, we're going to step aside for our first break. When we come back, PWI listed their 500 list yesterday. We're going to talk about some of that. Of course, all of our reports around the horn of wrestling, Grand Slam previews, and of course, pop culture towards the end. You're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere. Like it or not, we'll be back on Batman Day.
This is your warlord of weird Sinbodi, and you are watching Thoughts Count Anywhere right here on Facebook, Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. Pacific Coast time. Stay tuned. Do I look like I'm clowning around? Buddy, I'm Aaron Phillips, and I am with the legend, Sabu. And Sabu, you were telling me earlier about a special wrestling show that you really like, and that is what? Thoughts Count Anywhere. That's a coincidence. The same show that runs Saturdays, 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific, right here on Facebook. You better listen to the man to watch. Okay.
Hey, welcome back. We're here celebrating Batman Day. There you go, baby, right there. That's
Look, up in the sky.
no, wrong one. Get out of here. Turn your mic off. You're fired.
Superman!
Anyway, yeah, he wishes he was as rich as Batman. Anyway, welcome back to Thoughts Count Anywhere. We got a lot going on in the world of pro wrestling. By the way, just as a piece of information, did you know Batman Day started July 23rd in 2014? The year after that is when it was voted to move to the third Saturday of September. Coincided with Batman's 75th anniversary at the time, and appeared, the reason they did it that day, San Diego Comic-Con is when they celebrated the 75th anniversary. There you go. This brain is full of useless information.
Who's
Anyway,
your favorite Batman? Just curious.
my favorite, well, TV, of course, Adam West, Overboard, but Michael Keaton, and then Christian Bale, 1 and 1A. Listen, George Clooney, the only thing he was known for when he played Batman was the nipples on the suit. You know what I'm saying? Val Kilmer, good Bruce Wayne. Didn't like him as Batman. So anyway,
You know who I liked?
tell me,
Catwoman. She was hot.
Lee Merriweather.
Is my wife in here?
No, I didn't see her pop in. You're good. The movie, the 2-hour movie that they did when she played Miss Kitka. Miss
And
Kitka.
Eartha Kitt. She
Eartha
was
Kitt,
good,
yeah.
too.
They have what, 4, I think. If I'm not
believe
mistaken,
so.
4 Catwomen, 2 Jokers, and a Partridge in a Pear Tree.
Yep.
Oh, Riddler, not Joker.
Yep.
All right, let's get back to it. Let's talk about the top PWI
Excuse me.
500 came out yesterday. Let's run off 10 and up, and then we'll go from there. We're going to talk about a couple of them. Let's hit it. 10.
Number 10, Cody Rhodes. Number 9, Josh Alexander. Number 8, Orange Cassidy. Number 7, Okada. Number 6, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Number 5, Vikingo. Number 4, Gunther. Number 3, John Moxley. Number 2, Roman Reigns. And number 1, Seth freaking Rollins.
Burn
Yeah!
it down the house. Wrong guy.
Oh.
Now-
He was on the list, though.
He was. Yes, he
Yeah.
was. Now, during the break, we're looking over the list, and I asked Matt for the guys from 10 on up, and I think Brandy just put it in there. Make the note that you did about the top.
The Shield is the top 3 wrestlers in the world.
That's crazy. That is a great point. It's a great tip of the cap to all 3 of them individually as performers, and what they did as the Shield to develop themselves before they all broke off when Seth betrayed them on that big TV. I mean, each of them have really come in their own ever since the split.
Yeah.
You know, we all frowned on it, like, why'd they break up the Shield, the best faction? Yeah, that would have been another. Could you imagine them in a trios championship tournament if they were still together? Holy cow.
That'd be wild.
But yeah, that's a great point. 1, 2, 3 was the Shield. Now, anything in that list, and you listed on here the top 6 to maybe throw around there. Any thoughts on positioning in that? The top 10. Let's just talk about the top 10 or the 6 we have there.
It's kind of crazy. Cody Rhodes is number 10, and he's like, should be like number 4 or 5.
Given the fanfare and all that. But he did have the pec injury, which held him out for a handful of months. The thing I don't know, and maybe our historian can clarify this for us, what's the time period that they look at the wrestlers to make their list? Is it a calendar year? Is it a June to June, July to July? Because we know Cody missed some time if it's within a 12-month period that they may look at. They had a great discussion on Busted Open yesterday, I think it was, when they were talking about this. You know, most other Hall of Fames of baseball, football, things like that is all based on stats for the most part, okay? What criteria are they using to create the PWI? What stats are they using? And I don't know the answer to that. So I'm kind of throwing it out there. Maybe you know a little bit. They really didn't. I missed some of that on Busted Open. But what are they looking at to create these?
Part of what they look at is who they've wrestled on the list throughout the year.
Okay.
Okay, that's part of it.
Okay.
I think part of it is, too, how long you keep the championship belt. Now, in my opinion, I think MJF should be number 4 on that list.
Brunette just answered for us. July 1 through June 30th.
That's my opinion.
Okay.
Because you look at Roman, you look at Seth, you look at Moxley, you look at MJF, and then in that combination, Gunther should be there. Then you have all the main belts, 1 through 5.
Well, I think Gunther in the top 5, he's really number 4. I think
Okay.
is a great tip at the cap what he's done with the Intercontinental belt. So that being said, why would Roman not be number one versus Seth? Given
That's what I was saying. I was like,
I mean,
there's,
now he's missed time because of his contract, but still,
They-
longest reigning and all that other stuff.
They both sell. They both put butts in the seats.
But you use championship as one potential criteria, right?
Yes.
Roman Reigns was champion the entire time.
But let me ask you.
He's the box office draw.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
He sold out WrestleMania.
Keep going. Keep going.
There's-
Here's my opinion.
Mhm.
Who wrestles more with the championship belt, both on TV and live and in person and at WrestleMania and this and that? And I would have to say this past year, Seth Rollins did. Seth Rollins performed more on TV at the pay-per-views than Roman Reigns did.
He did,
That's-
but if this
that's-
was from July to
that's-
June, he was
that's-
world champion for like a month.
That's why Seth is number one. My
Yeah, but
opinion.
prior to him winning
My
the belt, though,
opinion.
based on what Chief just laid
My
out
opinion.
there, he did wrestle an awful lot. And Roman, again, maybe in a way, I hate asterisks and record books and shit like that. But with a guy like Roman, who we know has a condition, though in remission, right? And part of the time off, I don't care if it's a status, Brock and his contract and the time off he takes is totally different.
You had to bring that name up.
I'm sorry. But Roman,
It's almost as
I
bad as Johnny
believe,
Knoxville.
is he on the list anywhere?
Who?
Knoxville.
I don't know.
Good. Thank God he's
Oh, I'm
not.
gonna look.
But but seriously
Check it
though,
out.
but seriously,
Go ahead.
Lesnar's absences are built in his contract because that's what he wants.
Sure.
Okay, because he's an attraction.
Absolutely.
Roman, I believe, takes a lot of this time off for his body to heal based on the leukemia, the chemo, and to stay healthy.
I totally agree with you.
So can we not, or should we not put that into consideration where we look at, okay, yes, you're right. Seth has been a mainstay, no question. He's got the back injury. When and if he loses the title, who knows how long he'll be out if he chooses to have the spine issue taken care of. But Roman has been the most dominant wrestler when he's in the ring. Yes, over the last year. Would you agree to that?
He's there.
Who else would you put in that group?
There's Moxley.
Dominant. He bleeds a lot.
Moxley.
Okay. Does he have
Ma-
to bleed so much?
I don't know. He bled the other night.
I know. That's why I'm
But-
bringing
but-
it up.
But you know what? That's okay.
That's his.
If that's his stick.
Yeah, absolutely.
that's
Okay,
his
so
stick.
Moxley, Roman, who else? Who else has been as dominant in the ring for 12 months straight? Like
Gunther.
Okay. But he's
Damn,
in,
that was good, man.
but he's in the top four, and I have no problem where he is in the top four. I'm just talking Seth and Roman.
MJF.
Okay. Is
He's coming along.
is his wrestling as brutal and as dominant in the ring like Roman shows in the ring?
Well, he cheats like hell.
Nobody's been more dominant than Roman since Bruno Sammartino as far as like championship reigns.
Well, that's what yes.
Yeah.
and you can't argue with it either.
Uh-uh.
Jay Cargill pretty close, man. 500. Gunther too.
Again, yes.
Don't get me wrong. I like the list.
So would you have been okay if Roman was one and Seth?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'd have been all right
so you
with
think
that.
that they're interchangeable?
I
They could have
think the top 5 are interchangeable.
So you have El Hijo del Vikingo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's from Mexico.
I
Great
think
wrestler.
I didn't think it was from South Jersey.
Great wrestler.
Okay.
He was trained by Buddy Rogers.
Okay. So, sure.
I got your ass. All right, keep going.
No. So I'm in agreement. So listen, I don't know him as well, but I'm going to say that 1 through 4 and MJF, I'm okay with that. I don't know. But so based on what you just said, Cody's ranking was what, 7?
10.
10. Could he have been higher if he wasn't injured?
If he wasn't injured, he'd be on like the top 5.
Yeah, because he missed the time.
Absolutely. I think Josh Alexander too.
What was his position? He was in the
9.
9?
I think Alexander.
That's because he was Impact champion pretty much that whole time between.
Okay.
And you know, the thing I like here, you got WWE, you got AEW, you got Impact, and
AAA,
and New Japan.
New Japan.
Right? Okada.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got the top 5 major wrestling organizations represented in the top 10.
Sure.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
The only thing that bothers me is there's not a woman in the top 10.
Don't they come out with a women's list?
Yes.
They do, but why is Masha Slamovich
Exactly.
number 15
Oh, is she on that list?
Yeah.
over Charlotte, Bianca,
Thank you.
Rhea.
Oh,
That's where I was going.
I didn't go past
you got
wow.
it. No, you got it. So
This
I'll let
makes
you
no
run.
sense
I'll
to
let
me
you run with it.
whatsoever.
I'll
So
let
this
you
is
run with
okay.
it.
Well, let's look at Charlotte for the last 12 months. How much time during that time period, July 1 through June of this year, July 1 of
She
2022,
took some time off
Okay.
because of
whatever the reason she was.
personal reasons.
Okay, whatever the reason.
All right. She
Just-
took some time off.
But so it's during that 12-month window, just like Roman missed time, right? These guys are missing time. If that's part of the consideration for the list,
I think the top two women. No, I'll go. The top two women. Okay. Asuka and DMD were the top two women in professional wrestling this past year.
I don't know if I agree with that. I agree
I
that
don't
they
even
should-
kind of agree with that.
That's
No,
fine.
no, I don't know. I
That's
understand.
fine.
No, I know. I know.
And the reason I say that is because week in and week out, you saw them on TV.
Well, Asuka missed a lot of time in the last year before she reinvented herself this year. She hasn't been on TV. I would put Bianca up there ahead of Asuka.
I would say Bianca Belair, and
Even Becky.
if I had to pick somebody in AEW, it's definitely Britt Baker.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Britt.
But I'd also put
But I would
Becky's
say
name up there.
Bianca.
Well, that's why
Yeah.
I did this.
No,
so
no,
we got
absolutely.
some
Absolutely.
talk.
Absolutely.
I would say it was Bianca and Rhea, if anybody.
Hey, you can't, and I'll throw this one. Deonna Purrazzo.
Her
Yeah.
contract's coming up soon too, at the end of the year, right?
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
So are we going to get another Jersey girl in WWE?
Love
Who
it.
knows?
Would love it. I'd love it.
Well, no. Did you put anything in here on Impact this week?
It's on the backside,
There's a whole Impact section. here.
Okay. Yeah, we got.
like every week.
Hey, no. We got to talk about Impact. This
All right,
week.
so let's go.
All
Let's flip
joking
over. No,
aside.
stay on Impact. Unless there's any other closing comments you want to make on the list, the PWI list.
I just want to know what editor is screwing Masa Slamovich.
Can I throw
Because that's
this?
the only thing that makes goddamn sense to me.
Can I throw this one out?
Sure.
Locally, I'm glad to see Mr. Hammerstone make it at number 18. I
That's
believe.
crazy.
Number 18.
Okay.
Hammer, proud of you. Chris Bay, 125.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And get this one, folks. LA Knight, number 130. What's wrong with this list? LA Knight, 130. I'd be protesting this list.
When did he really start getting pushed though in that 12-month window?
3-4 months ago.
So then it doesn't.
It
fall
wasn't
into
even
that.
in this window.
So did you mention Kevin in there? I didn't hear if you mentioned Kevin.
No.
Okay.
No. And
I mean, he's on the list.
Well, Kevin, let's see. Carrying across was 440.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
440.
440.
That's wild.
So, and the hell with so Sepha was where was Sepha at? Solo.
Oh,
Sokoa.
Jay Vidal's 418.
There you go, Jay Vidal, 418. There's another local. And if you go put Masa Samovich on there, you better put what's her name on there? Our girl from out here. Zoe Stark. You better put her on the list. So
Next year.
no, I
Solo's 38.
Solo Sokoa, number 38. And so folks, locally here, and I'll say it and I keep saying it, we have some of the best independent wrestlers come through Las Vegas that are now on the list, that are on TV now.
You know who's not in the top 500?
Talk to me.
Brock Lesnar.
How could you put him up there? He doesn't wrestle often enough. He wrestles less than Roman.
Why do we keep talking about Brock Lesnar?
Well,
Who cares?
he brought him up. I didn't.
I don't care. If we're going to talk, is Johnny Knoxville? Did you check?
No,
Shut up. He's not. He certainly doesn't wrestle enough. Thank God. Thank God.
He needs to.
Jeez. All right, let's move on to. So you want to go to Impact? Let's go to what we have on the back here. We talked about Deonna Purrazzo. Another contract that is expiring soon is Heath's contract, even though it's not on here. But the note about Rhino reminded me his contract is coming up very soon.
Yeah.
There has not been any things that I've seen that shows Impact is interested in even resigning him. There's no contract offer out there yet that I've read. Back to WWE, him and Drew McIntyre team up. A little bit of a 2/3 3MB and leave Jinder Mahal somewhere else. I don't know. You know, Rhino is now starting to work in the back.
Yeah.
He's 40.
Okay.
Okay. Not saying 40's old by any means, because we were talking earlier about Roman. You know, at 38.
Right.
How many years does he have left?
I'd say he's probably got 5 more at least.
I'd say he's probably got a few more good years.
Yeah.
So does he stay at Impact?
At this schedule, he can wrestle till he's like 50.
So does he?
Heath. You were talking about Heath.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm about Roman.
No, I'm talking Heath. So does he stay at Impact? Does he go
Well, at this
elsewhere?
point, there doesn't seem to be any contracts on the table for Heath to even consider.
Could he go to OVW? Just a thought.
I would love to see him come to WWE, but not 3MB.
Nope.
Let him come in with the character he has now, just like Drew when Drew came back. And these guys coming back over, they've developed a following.
Yep.
Revamped, whether it was with AEW or independent circuit, and I know you don't like this name, Matt Cardona has reinvented himself. If these guys are going to come back, bring them back under what they have done today, that today's audience knows them, not 10 years ago.
What do you think's going to happen to Matt?
I think he's eventually going to go back to WWE.
Keeps teasing stuff on social media, right?
That's what I think.
And he better come back as Matt Cardona and not like.
Being the mamas at WWE already, I see Matt going
Chelsea
back.
Green.
Yeah.
But that's key, what you just said there. Have him come back as Matt Cardona, not Zack Ryder. The guy has built just like Cody. When Cody was let go after the whole Stardust thing, right?
Yeah.
He made a name. He reinvented himself out on the indie circuit. I watched the Cody story on Peacock yesterday. I finally got a chance to watch it. It's a very powerful story.
Yeah.
But Cody came back as the American Nightmare. He created that persona. If Cardona comes back, he's got to do the same thing. He's got to be allowed to do that. Same thing if Cardona comes back, and all these people that they're considering coming over, bring the persona with them.
Yeah.
Don't change him because it's been what has been working.
Yeah.
You know? So don't fix what ain't broken always. Just because they didn't bring it up, they didn't come up through the ranks to create their own identity, which is what Vince was always notorious for, was changing characters, i.e. Kevin Cross, as an example. He was, just bull crazy in NXT with the character, comes up to the main roster. It's like, well, let's change this all up because it worked. Why touch it?
Yeah.
Take what's been working and expand on that. But anyway,
My girlfriend's in the chat room.
yes, I saw
Good morning,
Jennifer in
Miss
there.
Jennifer.
Yes, Jennifer's out there. But anyway, don't change what's been working for these guys. So Rhino's transitioning to a producer. Heath, I'd love to see come back. We talked about Perazo. Tracy Brooke, go ahead.
I want to say something. I want Matt Cardona to come back, and I disagree with you guys a little bit. Matt has worked very, very hard on his character that he's developed over the years since he's left WWE. And I don't disagree coming back as Matt Cardona,
With the persona he's created.
but let him come back with what he's done in the last 5 years.
Well, that's what I mean.
6
what
years.
he's done with that,
Yeah.
with that name. Let him come
So
in with
then
that
we are in
bravado.
agreement.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay,
Let him
okay.
come in with that bravado that I'm
Yeah.
the best with 9,000 belts and everything. Oh, absolutely. You got to do that. You can't water him down. And if he agrees to come back, he should make sure it's in writing that he doesn't get watered down in any way and he's able to continue with the Matt Cardona that we see wrestle today.
If he was to re-sign and the Zack Ryder music hits, I think people would revolt.
I have one word to say. Yeah.
Brandy says, dude needs to lay off the self-tanner, especially in the chest area. Yeah, he kind of does overdo
A
it.
little bit.
As I mentioned, Tracy Brooks to be inducted into the Impact Hall of Fame. Upcoming, congratulations to her.
You know, it was outstanding to see the beautiful people and Mickey James come out and Awesome Kong.
Gail Kim.
Gail Kim.
Did you see the nasty bump she took on the outside, Gail Kim?
She's good though.
Absolutely.
She's a professional.
Yep.
But to see them all back together in one ring, and if we really stop and think about it, okay, a lot of those women right there were the cornerstone of women wrestling before
The women's revolution.
Yep.
what we've got today.
Yeah, they were the revolution back in that time. Absolutely.
I'm surprised they didn't bring Tara or like Victoria in.
Except for Trish and
Right.
and Lita.
Yes. Yeah. That
You know.
that whole the Attitude Era ladies.
Yes.
Yes.
But that group right
Yeah.
there, that was really the start of the revolution.
And out of the group that you mentioned there, along with Mickie James, I think Gail Kim had a lot to do with that, especially with the Impact, bringing these ladies in. I mean, Gail Kim, it's been a long time since she's
she could
wrestled,
go.
and she could still go.
Yeah.
Took a nasty
Yeah.
bump on the outside where it looked like maybe she had a concussion or whiplash, but she said she was fine afterwards. But Gail Kim, I was very unhappy to see her leave WWE when things ended for her there, because she was terrific.
Yes.
She could have been a very important cog in the WWE women's division like the rest of them were at that time.
Yes.
So it was great to see her back in. But there was another tag team that reunited for the episode, and that, of course, was the Dudley Boys.
Yes.
Because there had been rumors or talk over the last couple of years that Devon and Bully had kind of not been on the same page personally or / publicly, whatever. So it was good to see them back in the ring together, whatever those things were.
Yeah.
He's gone out. He as in Bully has gone out and said there's no truth to any of that. We're still friends. You know, he's over here doing his thing. I'm over here doing mine.
Yep.
I'm glad they were able to come to an agreement to make that appearance for the 1000th episode.
I'm glad
Yeah,
they got the
definitely.
table.
Oh, would you have expected anything else from them?
No.
They had to do the table, right?
They had
I mean,
to.
Everybody has, when they come back, there are just certain things people want to see regardless.
But
Oh yeah.
But we joking aside, and we do joke a lot.
We do.
Impact. I'm gonna tell you what. I watched Impact this week.
Mhm.
Impact put a good product on this week.
Impact desperately
They-
needs to be on a mainstream
Impact
channel.
puts on a good product every week.
But
It's just
nobody
the
sees
fact
it.
that they're on some whack network
Right.
that you have to be like a big Impact fan to like even search out for this stuff.
Does
Tell them to call me.
does
We'll put it up on Roku.
does it have? And I've wondered this for a while. Does it have to do with them being a Canadian-based
I don't think so.
company?
I don't think so.
That they can't get a good contract down here.
I don't think so. It may be part of it is financially, because look at what Tony Khan had the money with the family to create AEW and be on TNT, TBS, and that's a big network.
Right.
I don't know what the financial backing is with the Impact, that if they were to want to sign a deal.
I don't know.
But here's what's interesting. Fox and WWE, they're not exactly seeing eye to eye on re-upping. So could you imagine that WWE has that show maybe going to ESPN or whatever, and all of a sudden we see Impact and Fox sign? That's big.
That'd be wild.
That's a big opening, that if they don't re-sign the WWE, Impact has an opportunity there to make hay somewhere in terms of its audience.
Because Impact used to have like a deal with like Spike TV. It was like the same ones where Raw was on. So.
But Impact always ran later at night. They were like
Yeah.
an overnight show because it was pre-taped. So, but I would love to see them on a major network of sorts that everybody has a chance to get, for sure. Hey, we're going to step aside for our last break of the show.
Right.
When we come back, we got a few more items to talk about. Maybe another picture coming back in at Batman Day. All depends if I tell John what to do for a change. Anyway, we love your comments. Keep them coming. 702-992-3207. Call us after the break. We'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. Aaron Phillips here, inviting you to join me every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. right here on Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV on my show, Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips. I bring to you the movers and shakers of Las Vegas and really all around the world. It's also fun, entertaining, silly, goofy, informative, everything you'd want to be entertained by on a Saturday, except no politics, no religion. As I said, it's designed to be a fun show. Remember, that's every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific, right here, Aaron's Hour, Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV.
Hello, everybody. It's me, President Trump, greatest president in the history of presidents, and I've been on a lot of shows. Believe me, but the best one by far is Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips. This guy is so amazing. What a great interviewer, and you can catch him every Saturday from 12 to 1. 12 to 1. It's a tremendous show. You know why? I was on it, and the ratings went through the roof. Check it out on WWDBTV. That's WWDBTV. It's huge.
All right, welcome back to Thoughts Count Anywhere. Thank you, John DiDomenico. As always, appreciate you being part of the network here. I appreciate that. All right, let's get to it. Let's talk about Dynamite Grand Slam preview.
Let's go here.
Coming up this Wednesday,
sir.
right? And that's Arthur Ashe, right? That's
Arthur Ashe.
Supposedly the attendance is not so terrific for what I've been reading.
No, they're trying to figure something out to fill the place.
Like a lot of their shows recently have also numbers are being inflated, including Wembley.
I don't think anybody's doing really well with attendance.
Will Ospreay is like
To
real
be
upset
honest.
about that.
To be honest,
I'm sure you got to inflate numbers a little bit, but yeah, Will Ospreay had the original number of attendees was it like 82,000 or something as a tattoo, only to find out that the real number released was about 72,000. Big difference and a waste of money for him in a tattoo.
Ospreay, come back to the United States and wrestle instead of staying over there. Maybe you'll get the real deal.
He's about to. He's going to be on Impact for Bound for Glory.
There you go. All right, let's get to it. Grand Slam preview. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up there.
All right, let's go.
Christian Cage and Luchasaurus taking on Darby Allin and Sting.
Sting never loses big matches, so Darby Allin and Sting are going to win.
Okay.
I want to see Luchasaurus turn on
Christian.
So I'm going with Sting and Darby.
If that happens, does Edge make his?
Yes.
I can honestly see Edge debuting during this thing. Usually they do like a big thing for this show every year.
You was reading my mind.
Well, because another note that's on here is Edge has been removed from the internal roster from WWE, though not off the website yet. But he's been removed as part of the roster.
Yes.
And I wonder if, in all honesty, if that's the case, maybe he's also part of the cost-cutting measures of names. He's at the end, let's face it, maybe he's got another run with him to go to AEW with Christian. But for all intents and purposes, I could see Edge be one of the released wrestlers for cost-cutting measures if WWE feels that he's at that point in his career. And you know what? Let's let him go. If he wants to go over here for a year, let him do it. I don't know. I think that I would not be surprised to see his name on the list. Let's put it that way.
Right.
So we're all in agreement. Sting and Allen is probably going to win that one.
Yes.
All right. AEW International Championship. Jon Moxley taking on Rey Fenix.
Mr. Moxley.
I have an even better spoiler. Jon Moxley bleeds within 45 seconds, but
gonna
Jon
say that,
Moxley
man.
retains.
I was going to say that, but I left it alone.
So we're going to go in over under 45 seconds for bleeding. Has his body not run out of blood yet?
Nah.
I mean,
I read somewhere that he went to the doctor and they said he has a body of a 70-year-old arthritis patient.
Oh my God. Jeez.
So he needs to relax before he can
What's
not be able to pick up his daughter and
What's his wife's name?
Renee Paquette.
I'm surprised Renee hasn't put the squash on him a little bit.
Maybe she has tried to, and he said basically, you know what, leave the in-ring business to me. I don't know. I got to imagine she's mentioned to him how she feels about it one way or the other. I think it's too much. I know it's becoming his shtick, but it loses something if you do it every time, in my opinion. But that's me. What do I know?
MMA mentality, though.
Eddie Kingston taking on Cesaro, or Claudio Castagnoli, as he's now known. I like Cesaro better. It's easier. I'm going to say Claudio. Don't ask me why. It's just a name that pops into my head first.
I'm going to say Eddie Kingston.
Okay. Chief? You want me to come back to you on that one?
I'm going with Kingston.
All right. Chris Jericho taking on Sammy Guevara. How did this come about? Wasn't Guevara and Chris Jericho like best buds?
Whatever they're
The Sex
called.
Gods.
Yeah, that's it.
But they said that Sammy wanted to face Jericho to prove himself and earn his respect.
Gotcha.
Which I think he's going to get, and Sammy's going to win.
I agree with you. I think
We're in agreement.
Yeah, I think this is an opportunity again where Jericho
This is where
puts somebody
Jericho
over.
pushes him.
Absolutely. All right, next one. AEW Women's Championship. Saraya taking on Toni Storm.
I don't think Saraya is going to immediately lose the belt, so Saraya retains.
Toni Storm.
Unless people feel that Saraya's win
at Wembley was the good feel moment because she went home. Now let's get back to reality.
Tony Storm.
Perhaps.
Tony Storm.
I'm going to go with you, Chief, on that one.
But
I don't know.
I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. But I still wonder how healthy is Soraya. Okay, because I've watched some of the matches that she's had on TV. There's certain things that she has trouble doing in the ring. And I don't know. And I think it might have to do with her health condition.
Yeah, with her neck. So. Absolutely, it's possible. And the AEW Championship, Samoa Joe taking on MJF. I'm taking MJF. I love Samoa Joe, don't get me wrong. But would it be a step back for AEW in terms of younger talent continuing to drive the show?
They're gonna have to like eventually scramble some stuff up for ratings and to draw people into these shows.
Would Samoa
They can't
Joe
keep doing the
do
same
that?
thing over and over and expect different results.
You're right. That's the definition of insanity.
Excuse me.
As much as I would love to see Samoa Joe win the championship, I think when MJF said, "I promise you, I'm going to choke you out at Grand Slam," I think MJF is legit going to choke him out
in his own move, in the clutch, right?
I don't know how. I don't know if it'll be the
cocaine
clutch,
clutch.
but I think MJF wins via submission or passing out or something.
Okay, Chief.
You know what? I think Samoa Joe's going to win the match. Okay, because doesn't MJF and Adam Cole still have the tag belts?
Yeah.
Okay, number one. But number two, then there's going to be a rematch that MJF will re-win the belt.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay, fair enough. So,
and I'm probably wrong on that one, but I don't.
We're never wrong until we see the results.
I don't care even if I'm wrong. I want to see Samoa Joe win it.
So let's talk about last night in Colorado. SmackDown was in Denver, right? Is that where they were? Or Boulder? Denver.
Oh, is that at the play?
Denver.
Yeah. By the way, you didn't bring back my other picture that I asked for. When we came back in for Batman Day.
Yeah, I did.
Did you play my God?
Your what?
The God of Batman?
No.
Well, that's what
I put the Batman.
That was last break, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, bring up the other one.
You mean?
No, not that one. The other one. That's the one I want. Anyway.
Okay.
So Pat McAfee comes out on the with Waller, right? On the Waller effect thing. Is that right? Or
no, he just came out and then Austin
Theory came out. Right.
Take that.
There he is.
Take that. Picture.
No. That's look
Take
at that.
Take that picture down. You're blocking me.
Right here. Look
That's
at that.
gross.
If you're gonna put it over in front
September
of Aaron.
You know who's more talented than Adam West?
Yeah.
Johnny Knoxville.
September 19th is Adam West's birthday. That's a national holiday.
Johnny Knoxville would make a better Batman than Adam West ever would.
Johnny Knoxville.
All right.
I hate Adam
You
West.
can slide down Johnny Knoxville as the Bat.
So are we going to talk about the real issue here?
SmackDown?
We have 7 minutes left.
Last night, SmackDown. That's where I was going.
Clock.
According to your
clock.
clock.
No, you put the damn picture up. You weren't going to SmackDown.
I was going. I was talking about it.
You weren't going to the show.
So now we're down to 6 minutes because we're talking about this now.
So
all right, let's do it. SmackDown last night. Austin Theory, Pat McAfee, and then all of a sudden,
hey,
we hear it. Do you smell?
You know,
if you smell.
You know what? Pat McAfee did a great job.
And I'll tell you what,
absolutely. So did
Theory.
Numbnuts.
Theory?
Yeah, Theory.
Rock comes out, as he always does, electrifies the audience, the crowd, the roof blew off. Big nod, though, for Austin Theory in that segment because Theory beat Cena, right? WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Now he's doing this segment with Theory, even though he took the elbow and everything else. But to put him in a position to have that experience with The Rock, that I hope for, well, I'm sure a lot of people hope it's going to help reignite something for Austin Theory. Because let's face it, he's fallen out ever since McMahon left last summer.
I think him wrestling Cena helped his career. Okay. I think the segment last night with Rock definitely helps his career. And we could say what we want, but it's people like Cena, like Rock, like
Jericho.
Chris Jericho.
Yep.
Are putting the younger fellas over, and that's what it's about. Now, is there something going to develop between the two of them?
Doubtful.
I kind of doubt it.
Yeah.
I kind of doubt
Not
it.
if we're leading to Rock and Roman for 40, based on the heels of what he said on the Pat McAfee.
As I said to you, though, and off there, I'll say it on there, does Rock really want to travel to Philadelphia?
Yeah. Who knows?
You know, who knows?
If he's in the
You're in a
area.
private jet, don't travel anywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
I'm just throwing.
No,
that out there,
absolutely. Listen, he said on the Pat McAfee show that for all intents and purposes, he has in The Rock, that the match between him and Reigns was pretty much a done deal for 39. The only thing that held it from happening, they were trying to figure out something special to take place in the match that would have the match stand out on its own for its moment. And they couldn't come up with anything, apparently.
So can I throw my scenario out there?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Rock,
4.5 times.
Rock and Roman have
Yes.
the match at WrestleMania 40.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, if there's no belt at that,
If Roman doesn't have the belt.
doesn't have the belt.
Okay.
I say Solo wins it.
Okay.
Solo becomes head of the family
Prior to WrestleMania.
prior to
40, okay.
WrestleMania.
Okay.
Yep. And Rock gives him the blessing, and that's what causes the WrestleMania match.
That's logical.
But then, in saying that, who wrestles with Gunther? And LA Knight said last night he mentioned Roman's name.
Yeah.
So
And throwing Cody into that scenario too.
what's the mix?
Yeah.
What's the mix?
Well, Ronald put an interesting comment in there. He foresees a tag match with Cena and AJ taking on Solo and Jimmy.
Yeah, definitely.
okay, I'm down for that. Well, I'm okay
But it
with
doesn't
that.
clarify the championship title.
Nope.
The championship
No,
picture.
but that's what
But that's okay.
That's what I foresee happening.
You know what? That's not a bad twist because I think we're all in agreement. A belt does not have to be on the line at all for Reigns and Roman. Reigns and The Rock.
And
right?
The Rock.
You don't need it. That because the title of tribal chief or the bad feelings or whatever, that would really be what's at stake in that match.
Yeah.
Even though Solo would be anointed if he were to win the belt prior, but who's been on top of the family the longest recent, and that would be Roman, and that's the title that could be up
Now,
for grabs.
I'll twist it just a little more. If you have Roman Reigns and The Rock at WrestleMania 40, okay, as one of the main events at one of the nights, because WrestleMania is 2 nights now, who's the referee?
Johnny Knox.
I was just gonna say.
And I'll just leave that amongst you two. Who's the referee?
That's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't think they would use a regular ref for that?
Nope, I do not.
That's a great question. Who would come in for that?
I'll
Seriously.
give you chief spoiler. Who's the oldest fucking walking member of that family? 'Cause that's who he's gonna say.
Rikishi? Maybe.
I thought he was gonna say The Rock's mom, just because that sounds ridiculous as hell.
Timekeeper, special bell or timekeeper. Not bad. All right, we only have a couple of minutes left. Let's get to a couple of pop culture topics.
Pretty good, huh?
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Because his name has been banted around in this whole bloodline thing for so long.
Yes.
Anyway, all right.
All right.
NFL week number 2 is this weekend. Of course, college football is underway for week 3. Is it 3?
2.
No, it is 2. The big news out of last weekend is the fact that the prisoner from Pennsylvania who was escaped 14 days ago before he was captured in Pennsylvania was out of jail longer than the number of plays that A.A. Ron Rodgers actually played for the Jets this year.
Mr. DeCavalcanti.
That's the guy. He was out on the road for 14 days before he got arrested in Pennsylvania, courtesy of a canine, by the way. Caught him, bit him, held on to him. And Aaron Rodgers played only 4 downs before tearing his Achilles. Bad news for the Jets, but hey, give the Jets credit. They came back and won a game in overtime, courtesy of special teams. But week number 1, I thought saw a lot of injuries, but your Niners came up strong this past week.
Hell yeah.
I called it.
Yeah, you did.
Did you know Josh Allen passed more completed more passes to the Jets than Aaron Rodgers did last week.
That's right. He had 3 interceptions. That is very true. He had 4. But, there was an interesting point on ESPN made about Josh Allen. One of the guys said this. Dak Prescott in Dallas gets a lot of heat for his turnovers, right? But Josh Allen has been flying under the radar with all of his turnovers. But after this past week, that's going to change. Who do you root for in football? Who's your football team?
The team that won Thursday night.
The Jets?
The Eagles.
Oh, this past Thursday. The Eagles? You're an Eagles fan?
Oh, yeah. Die hard. Die hard Eagles.
Yeah, well, South Jersey and all that stuff. You spent all that time.
EJESEL Eagles.
Die hard Eagles fan.
Yeah.
Die hard Eagles fans.
There's some smart fucking Eagle fans out
All
there.
right. And by the way, last thing before we say goodbye, because it is 11 o'clock right at the top, this upcoming Thursday. What's Thursday's date?
September 21st.
How would you know that? Why? September 21st?
Because it's Matt's
birthday. All of us around here at TCA, we're declaring a national holiday. So when you call out sick, blame us. That's all. It's a national holiday around
You know
here.
what my birthday present is?
What's that?
49ers play the Giants.
On Thursday?
On Thursday.
Oh.
And
I smell an ass whooping.
Are they playing out at Niners are home or on the road?
Yep.
They're home.
I wonder if it'll
I'm
be.
not
Sorry
even-
for what's about to happen to your team.
I'm not even going to make a bet with you because I know I'd be paying.
I
So
wonder if it'll be another shutout.
I hope not.
I hope
That
not.
was
They better score some points. Anyway,
that's
with
the damn
that,
Cowboys.
we got to wrap up. It is after
That was
11. The
great.
quarter's in the slot.
40-0. Can you believe that? 40-0. That's saying something.
Say goodbye to Chief. This is his last show on Thoughts Count.
That's saying something.
All right, we got to go. We got to go. Matt, final thoughts.
Everybody have a good, safe week out there.
Hey,
See y'all next week. Donate to my GoFundMe for my birthday. I don't even know what I want, but
hey, we'll have birthday cake.
there's something
next
on
week.
there.
Next week, birthday cake.
For sure.
Anyway, yeah, for sure. I already got it ordered, like I said. Talk to Mama. It's all good. Everybody be safe. Have a great time. Who knows what's going to show up on wrestling this week?
That's
But
right.
I would recommend that you watch the 5-on-5 women's match on Impact this coming week.
All right, with that, John's got us the cut sign because it's after 11. For editing purposes, he's yelling at us like, get done already. Anyway, with that, thank everybody for watching. Join me in 1 hour. I'm going to have Kate Porter, co-executive director of the Las Vegas Natural History Museum. There's a big event coming up in 2 weeks. We'll talk about that. Hey, enjoy what you got in front of you. Be kind to everybody. Why is that? We're all we have. We'll see you next week right here on Thoughts Count Anywhere. Have a good week.
Yeah.
Yeah.